I want you to use all your powers and all your skills. I don't want his mother to see him this way. Look how they massacred my boy.
Hey gang, it's Mad Matt. Got a quick one for you. At least I planned for this one to be a quick video. But you know what? You all deserve high quality and extremely thorough work, and gosh darn it, I'm going to deliver it to you. That's right, this one's for you all, the fans. This might not be a deck that interests everyone, as it's kind of jank. In fact, it's kind of janky to the max, but I love it and it has some super cool combo lines available to it, so I really wanted to show it off. And today we're on Tri-Brigade Gladiator Beast. Tri-Brigade Glad isn't really a new deck. I mean, the synergy is kind of obvious. Tri-Brigades like Tri-type monsters, and the Glads are mostly, Tri-type monsters. What's not to love? In fact, a version of Tri-Glad was one of the first videos I put together for this channel. Time is an arrow and all that. So I still stand by that prior video, but this deck actually received an incredible support card in the last pack, and it's probably the last card you would have guessed. That's right, World Sea Dragon's Atlantis. I bet you wouldn't have guessed that in 1,000,000 years. 2,000,000? Maybe, I'll give you that one, but no shot you would have guessed that in 1,000,000. If you've been questioning the deck build and card choices so far, it'll hopefully all make sense once we really get into Atlantis and what he accomplishes for the deck. So what does he do? First off, he's a Link 4 monster with the effect where you can banish all cards on the board, and then he immediately resummons them in whatever position you desire and whatever zones you like. Also, during the battle phase, he can quick effect pop cards equal to the number of co-link monsters on the field. So yeah, he does everything for us. Wait, you're still not seeing it, are you? Alright, fine. I'll stop being so obtuse. The really crazy thing about Zelantis is that he can be Link summoned using only a singular monster, i.e. a singular Link 4 monster. So we can swap any Link 4 monster into Zelantis. Which, yeah, that's cool and everything, but does swapping one monster out for another really accomplish anything? And obviously it does when that Link 4 monster happens to have a graveyard effect, and that's where Shurag comes into play. So I'm sure you're all familiar with Shurag, the 3,000 attack bots monster of the Tri-Brigade archetype that on summon, non-target banishes a card on the board. Crazy strong, super powerful, super easy for the Tri-Brigades to summon. However, what we're focused on today is his graveyard effect, where when he hits the grave, you get to add one Tri-type monster from your deck to your hand with levels less than or equal to the number of Tri-type monsters that are currently banished. And if you're not familiar with the main deck Tri-Brigade monsters, they all are effectively able to cheat out Tri-type Link monsters by banishing Tri-type monsters from the grave equal to the Link rating of the monster they're trying to summon. So if we can get 4 Tri-type monsters into the grave, we can banish all 4, then we can basically summon Shurag for free, link off Shurag for Zelantis, then with 4 Tri-type monsters banished, we get to search any level 4 or lower Tri-type monster. The one we'll be searching for is my all-time favorite card, the boy himself, Rescue Cat. Probably familiar with Rescue Cat, who first got released in 2005. By modern day standards, he had an absolutely bonkers effect where you could send himself to the grave and special summon 2 level 3 or lower beast-type monsters from your deck, but they were destroyed during the end phase. However, there really wasn't much you could do with him upon release, with the lack of actual solid beast monsters to summon, and the fact the monsters you summoned just died during the end phase, and this was obviously before Synchro, XYZ, or Link monsters to take advantage of those summoned monsters. However, this card was just begging to be broken by Konami, as you were trading 1 card for 2, which is always great. You were summoning monsters from the deck, and the effects of the monsters that you were summoning were not negated. So eventually Konami did break this card, or at least, they gave us the pieces to break him, and we did in such decks like our Cat Knight, where this deck utilized, in part, Summoner Monk to search out and summon Rescue Cat, and then Cat would summon 2 of the level 3 Tuner X-Saber Arabellum, who was able to potentially rip cards from the opponent's hand, as well as synchro off for the powerful level 7 synchro pool, including cards like Black Rose Dragon, Arcanite Magician, or the pre-errated Ultimate Game Ender Dark Strike Fighter. Cat also saw play with Gladiator Beast be able to go into the level 3 Gladiator Beast Sam Knight, as well as the Gladiator Beast utility monster Test Tiger. Eventually Cat got limited in 2009 and then banned in 2010, and understandably so. Eventually Cat came off the list in 2017, but this was after an errata and with the effect we all know today. And I know you didn't really come here for a history lesson, but I am going to try to bring this full circle. So the changes that were made to Cat are that he now has a hard once per turn, which, yeah, that's fair, that's fine, but also the effects of the monsters summoned now have their effects negated. Of all the erratas out there, Cat is probably the most reasonable one. It successfully nerfed the card enough to where it could come off the list, but the card's effect was still mostly intact and it still felt like the same card, and it still left Cat as an extremely playable card, as you're still trading 1 card for 2, and it's always impossible to overstate how strong summoning from deck is. So anyway, back to this current deck. Why did I go over all that? Well, the Tri-Brigades have 2 monsters that Cat can summon, Kitt and Kerass. However, we can't really take advantage of their link summoning effects because Cat negates them when he summons them. And now to obviously finally bring it full circle, this is where Zelantis comes in. When Zelantis banishes and then resummons everything, if Zelantis banishes and then resummons a monster that was summoned by Rescue Cat, that monster no longer has their effect negated. So basically we're bringing Cat back to full power, is what we're trying to accomplish with this deck. So, number one, we're going to get Shurag on the board without using up our normal summon. Number two, then we're going to link Shurag off for Zelantis. Then number three, we're going to use Shurag to search out a Rescue Cat. And then since we haven't used our normal summon, number four, we'll normal summon Cat, and then use Cat to summon twice. And then number five, use Zelantis, banish everything off the board, resummon, and then six, combo off from there. By doing this combo in a certain way, we're then able to leverage all those summoned monsters into the powerful Gladiator Beast fusion monster, Tamer Editor, who has the effect where he's able to special summon any Gladiator Beast fusion monster from the extra deck, obviously ignoring summoning conditions. Tamer Editor's effect is not a hard once per turn. Then to top that all off, we'll also use the powerful and searchable and also non-once per turn Gladiator Beast Monster Reborn. That'll allow us to use Tamer Editor's effect multiple times over the turn in order to cheat out multiple Gladiator Beast boss monsters and just set up a stupid unbreakable board with up to 5 and sometimes even more negates. So in sum, what I have for you today is a stupid combo deck, and unfortunately in the year 2023, that's kind of what Gladiator Beasts have been relegated to. The battle phase effect of the Gladiator Beast monsters will probably never be good again, like the days of Waboku, Murmillo summon 2,100 attack Laquari are behind us. I am sorry to say that, friends. However, sometimes I still want to play my little pet deck, and I want to play them as good as possible, and a deck like this is probably the best way of accomplishing it, because despite the fact that every main deck Gladiator Beast monster is effectively a normal summon do nothing, the contact fusions still hold up today. First up, the 3,500 attack Damatianus, who is able to negate and destroy a monster when they activate their effect once per turn. He also gets to control your opponent's attack targets. No one will ever read that. Get ready to watch your opponent crash monsters into him. We're also on the 15-year-old 3,000 attack Heraclinos, who can, for one discard, negate and destroy the activation of a spell or trap card, and that is not a once per turn or even a once per chain. And then we're also on the 2,400 attack Geyserus, who on summon can pop 2 cards on the board on special summon. He alone really made Gladiator Beast a meta contender back in the day, and still popping 2 cards can be absolutely game-winning, even now. And of course, with Tamer Editor, we can cheat out each and every single one of these with ease. And then did I mention before that we're combo decks? So yeah, on top of the Gladiator Beast monsters, we'll also utilize powerful Link endboard monsters like, Apollo USA, as well as Simurgh, Bird of Sovereignty, which will allow us to give us access to the Omni Negate Apex Avian. So I mentioned before, this probably looks really weird for a Tri-Brigade list, like where is Revolt, where is Bearbrum, etc. And the reason for that is we're really only interested in doing the Zelantis combo with the Gladiator Beast follow-up, as it is the strongest and best thing the deck can be doing. And because of that, the deck is basically tailored to accomplish only that. We can set up the Zelantis combo in a number of ways. Number one, Fraktall plus any other Tri-type monster in hand is full combo, so we're on double Fraktall and then also triple Tenki to search Fraktall. Because we want to save our normal summon for Cat, we want to use Kerass as the monster we usually want to start off our plays with, as he can special summon himself from hand by discarding a Tri-type monster, which also stacks the grave with an extra Tri-type engrave. So we're on triple Kerass. And then also Kerass and either Kitt or Nerval in hand is full Zelantis combo, so we're on triple Nerval and triple Kitt. Now obviously I went over before that Rescue Cat is searchable, but he's also full combo, and depending on the other cards in hand can set up our strongest end board, so we're also on triple Rescue Cat. For the Glad Beast cards, I don't want to get too bogged down in their effects. Each one is here for a very particular purpose for certain combo lines, so I'll just try to focus on that. Triple Sam Knight, his only purpose really is that he's a level 3 beast, so we can summon him with Rescue Cat, and then he has Gladiator Beast in the name. Tamer Editor requires 2 Gladiator Beasts that are level 5 or higher to summon, so we're on a few level 5 or higher Glad Beasts that each serve a particular purpose. So for that, we're on 2 Augustus, who on Gladiator Beast effect summon can special summon another Gladiator Beast from hand, which is basically how you'll be setting up Tamer Editor. Noxious is a level 5 who on Gladiator Beast summon can send a Gladiator Beast monster from your deck to grave, which is useful for revive plays later. And then we're also on the level 4 Atorix, who is a level 4, but on summon can send a Glad Beast from deck to grave to make her a level 5 or higher. She's useful because if you open like Fraktall and Tenki, Tenki can also search Atorix because she is a Beast Warrior, and then also Atorix is also searchable by Shurag if you happen to like already have Rescue Cat in your opening hand. And then if you have Atorix in hand, you can usually extend further than what you would be if you didn't have an extra level 5 or higher Glad in hand. You'll see how she comes up in certain combo lines. Other than that, we're on a one of a quest. 2 on Glad Beast. Special summon gets to add a Glad Beast card in the grave back to hand, which is useful for keeping cards in hand for Heraclinos negates, but also for recovering the Gladiator Beast Monster Reborn, as it is a Gladiator Beast card. Quest is also a Winged Beast, which works well for linking into Simurgh, as one of the material has to include a Winged Beast monster, so he's great for that. And then speaking of Winged Beasts, we're also on the one of Bestiari to make sure we have at least 2 level 4 Winged Beasts in deck for like Noxious to bin, but he's also the name material on Geyserus, which comes up occasionally, and then just being Winged Beast is nice for linking into Simurgh. So we're on the one-up Bestiari. For non-engine, we really need to see our combo with this deck. Space is very tight between the Tri-Brigade and Gladiator Beast portion, and all of the Gladiator Beast cards are effectively garnets, so we really can't afford to also fill our deck up with a bunch of hand traps. So the only hand trap we're currently on is DD Crow, and he's nice because he's a Tri-type monster, which definitely comes up. And I know running such a low hand trap lineup isn't ideal. And also, this deck definitely isn't that competitive. Although, hopefully, after you see the combos and the duels, you'll see why you might want to play it. But other than that, for non-engine, we're on 2 called by, just to hopefully sack into it, and then we don't auto-lose to, Maxi or another hand trap. After that, we're running a bunch of board breakers. We're on 2 Lightning Storm and triple Droplet. And last, 1 pot of P, just to hopefully improve consistency somewhat, to find either like a board breaker if you're going second if you need it, or one of your combo starters. So we do really want to go first with this deck. I know sometimes people will play Gladiator Beast as a go second strictly deck, which is understandable, because funnily enough, this deck can go second, because if we have access to our battle phase, the Gladiator Beast Link 2 monster Dragases is full combo, so the board breakers end up working really nice for the deck, especially since we don't have the space to run a bunch of hand traps. The reason he's full combo is because if he attacks, he can't be destroyed by battle, and your opponent also can't activate any cards in response to it, but then he can special summon 2 Gladiator Beast monsters from your deck with different names. So then you can have drag, crash into whatever, then you'll get special summon 2 Gladiator Beasts. Typically it's going to be Augustus and Noxious. And then with 2 level 5 or higher Glads on the board, you can then fuse off into Tamer Editor, and then just combo off from there. And just with that play alone, you end up turning like 1 card into 5, which we'll go over in the combo portion, but it's just extremely strong. So it's nice that for a combo deck, you are actually able to go second. For the extra deck, they're basically either all combo pieces, combo enablers, or end board monsters. I'll briefly review the ones I haven't covered yet. The only Gladiator Beast fusion I didn't go over is Neurokius. He's big, but he's also nice that he's Winged Beast if you want to link him off for Simurgh. He doesn't come up too often, but it's nice to have at least 1 extra one in here for follow-up turns for Tamer Editor. We're on 1 Al Mirage. You can link off a normal summon Kitt or Nerval, which will trigger their effect and then possibly get a play going. Test Panther is crazy and basically the key to any combo. On Link Summon, he gets to search any Gladiator Beast card. A nice +1, but also great for searching whatever card you're missing to combo off either one of the high-level Gladiator Beast in hand or Gladiator Beast comeback. And then he also has the effect where he can spin a Gladiator Beast monster back into the deck and then special summon a different named one from deck, and then that will trigger their on-summon effect, which you'll typically use that to go either into Augustus to either set up Tamer Editor, or you'll go into a quest in order to bring a comeback that's engraved back to hand to just continue to pop off. Cross Sheep gets a special summon a level 4 or lower monster from grave when a fusion monster is summoned to one of his link arrows. Just great extension of resource recovery, as we don't generally have an issue summoning a fusion monster. But do note that the fusion monster doesn't have to be summoned from a fusion summon. If you revive a fusion monster with comeback to one of Cross Sheep's arrows, that does trigger the effect. You'll see us pop off with Cross Sheep in the combo lines. Tri-Brigade Farajit can special summon a Tri-type monster from your hand, useful when you find yourself in weird board states and need to extend further, so she's just a one-of in the deck. And we went over him before, but we're on 2 Shurag. Just in case our board gets cracked, we have some follow-up. Most likely, if the opponent cracked your board, it took all or most of their cards in their hand, and at that point, you're probably also low on cards. And in simplified game states, Shurag absolutely rolls with his non-target banish, high attack stat, and then also the search. But that basically covers the deck. Next up, we'll go over the combo lines, which I highly encourage you to review. They are some of the best lines for a combo deck that I've seen in a long time, especially for a Tri-Brigade deck. After that, I have some duels to showcase the deck in action. Last, I'll give you some final thoughts, but with that, let's see what the deck can do. So this first combo I'm going to show off does not use Zelantis, but I wanted to show off our best possible end board just so you can kind of get an idea of what this deck can accomplish. This will result in our best end board, and it requires you to open Rescue Cat and then either one of the high level Glad Beast monsters or Gladiator Beast comeback, along with one other Tri-type monster in hand. So let's go ahead and get into the line. You'll start off by normal summoning Rescue Cat, and normally you'd lose on the spot to an Impermanent Ash, but you go ahead and activate Rescue Cat, and then you're going to summon Kitt as well as Sam Knight. You will then link these both off for Test Panther, and then that will trigger Test Panther's on summon effect as well as Kitt's effect when she hits the grave. Chain block here how you like. And then you'll use Test Panther to either search out a high-level Glad if you have comeback in hand, or if you have the high-level Glad, you will search out comeback. In this instance, we have comeback, so we search Noxus. And then Kitt's effect, we obviously send Nerval, which will trigger Nerval's effect in the grave, and Nerval will search out Kerass. Since we already used our normal summon, we'll activate Kerass, and we will ditch whatever the Tri-type monster in our hand was. In this case, it was a quest. So ditch a quest, and then we will activate Kerass, banish 2. Doesn't matter too much who you banish here. I usually try to keep some of the Glads in grave if I can. And you want to get the other Gladiator Beast Link 2 monster, Dragases. Then you will activate Task Panther's effect, spin him back, special summon Augustus, and then I will trigger Augustus' effect, and you will special summon that high level Glad we added to hand, or that was already in your hand. In this case, it's Noxious. Activate Noxious. We will send Bestiary to grave. Now we will contact fuse both of these off in order to go into Tamer Editor. And now we can activate Tamer Editor's effect, and at this point you have to go into Damatianus. You cannot go Heraklinos here, even if you want to, because you do need to have different monster types on the board in order to take advantage of comeback, which will be our follow-up turn. And now we want to link off Tamer Editor and our Test Panther, because we need Cross Sheep to have these particular link arrow zones. So we'll go into Cross Sheep with those two. Now we'll activate the comeback in hand. We're going to bring back Tamer Editor, make sure it's in one of the link arrows for Cross Sheep. That'll trigger Cross Sheep. And we want to bring back Kitt, because we have not used Kitt's link summoning effect yet. Now we'll activate her effect. We are going to banish 3. Once again, doesn't matter too much what you're banishing. Just try to keep whatever you like best in grave if you think it matters. And then we're going to use that to special summon Simurgh. And now to clear up zones, we are going to link off that Kerass, Kitt, and then our link to Cross Sheep to go into a 3-mat Apollo USA. And now we'll use Tamer Editor's effect again, and we'll get Heraklinos. Then we'll go to the end phase, and that'll allow us to activate Simurgh Summon effect. And make sure you left enough zones open so you can summon a level 7 monster, and we'll get Apex Avian, and that's the end of that combo line. This is our strongest end board. We have 2 spell and trap negates with the 2 cards in hand with Heraklinos. We have a monster effect negate with Damatianus. We have a Tamer Editor that can't be destroyed by battle. We have the Omni negate from Apex Avian, and then we have 3 monster effect negates from Apollo USA. Basically, good luck to our opponent. This is going to be just our standard bread and butter combo line. This is going to be using the Atlantis like we talked about before. This just requires Fraktall plus any other Tri-type monster in hand. So we're going to activate Fraktall, send Kitt, send Nerval, use Nerval, search out Kerass. Then you will activate Kerass' special summon effect, discard whatever the other Tri-type monster in hand was. Summon Kerass, then we'll activate Kerass' on-field effect. You're going to banish 4. Which are the 4 monsters we ditched with Fraktall and then Kerass' effect, and we're going to go into Shurag. Make sure you do not activate Shurag's on summon effect because you don't want to banish anything on board. I mean, I guess if your opponent had a card, banish one of their cards, great. But other than that, we will link him off to go into Atlantis. That'll trigger Shurag's grave effect, so we'll use that to search out Rescue Cat. And we have not used up our normal summon, so now we want to normal summon Cat. Activate Cat's effect. And now we want to get Kitt and Sam Knight. Now, Kitt's effect on board is currently negated, so we want to activate Atlantis to banish our board. And now we will special summon everything back. I usually special summon Atlantis this zone because I know he'll be co-linked at the end of this combo line. And then the other ones doesn't matter too much. Just bring them all back to whatever zones you want. Just make sure you don't put them face down. Now Kitt is no longer negated. We'll activate Kitt. We will banish 2. Which is the Rescue Cat and Shurag that we just put in the grave, and we want to get the link to Gladiator Beast Monster, Dragases, and now we will link off Sam Knight, and then either of these, it doesn't really matter. I usually do Kerass in order to go into Test Panther, because Test Panther just requires 1 Gladiator Beast Monster and then 1 other monster of any other type. On summon, that'll trigger Test Panther's effect. You'll search out Noxious, activate Test Panther's effect, spin back the Gladiator Beast Link Monster, and then you will summon Augustus. Augustus will be able to special summon that Gladiator Beast Monster we just added to our hand, so we will special summon Noxious, that will trigger Noxious' effect, and then I usually send Bestiary to grave. Now we will link off Panther and Kitt to go into Cross Sheep, and then you will contact fuse Augustus and Noxious in order to go into Tamer Editor. Make sure it's in one of the Cross Sheep zones. That'll trigger Cross Sheep, and you want to make sure you bring back Bestiary. Activate Tamer Editor's effect. Special summon Damatianus. You could do Heraclinus if you like Heraclinus better. I typically like getting Damatianus because he gets to control my opponent's attacks, and I usually like monster effect negates. And then you will link off Cross Sheep and Bestiary to go into Simurgh, and then you will go to your end phase and you'll special summon Apex Avian. So definitely a weaker board than the one we showed before, but we still have one monster effect negate. We have the pop with Zelantis during the battle phase, and then we also have the Omni negate from Apex Avian. So a pretty decent board, and that was just from Fraktall. So very nice. This combo is very similar to the one we had before. This requires Kerass, and then either Kitt or Nerval in our opening hand. So you go ahead and start off by activating Kerass. You're going to ditch that Kitt or Nerval. In this instance, it's Nerval. So you'll either send Nerval to search Fraktall, or you'll just have Nerval search Fraktall, then you'll activate Fraktall, and then you'll send Kitt to grave. Activate Kitt if you haven't already used Kitt's effect, and send just another Tri-type to grave. And now we have 4 in the grave to activate Kerass's effect, so we'll banish 4. And we'll go into Shurag. Link off Shurag for Zelantis. Shurag's grave effect will trigger. Search out Rescue Cat. We have not normal summoned yet. Normal summon Rescue Cat. Activate Rescue Cat. Special summon Kitt. Special summon Samnite. Activate Zelantis. Banish the board. Summon them all back. Zelantis in a zone will be co-linked. The others in zones, doesn't matter. Just face up. Kitt's no longer negated. Activate, banish 2. Go into Dragases. Go into Test Panther. And then Test Panther will search out Noxious. And the rest of this is the same combo line as before, so I'm just going to go ahead and speed it up from here. Activate Panther, spin back Dragases, get out Augustus, get out Noxious. Now make sure he's sending a winged beast. Link these 2 off for Cross Sheep. Contact fuse these 2 off for Tamer Editor. That'll trigger Cross Sheep. Bring back one of the winged beasts. It's in the grave. Get Dom, and then link these 2 off for Simurgh. Activate Simurgh. Get out Apex Avian. So when you open one of your searchable pieces of your combo or an additional extender, you can actually go further with the combo. In this case, this is when you have Fraktall plus Rescue Cat in hand. So we'll start off by activating Fraktall. We're going to send Kitt. You'll use Kitt to send Nerval, same as before. Nerval search Kerass. Add Kerass to hand. Activate Kerass. And then you're going to ditch another Tri-type monster that's in hand. Special summon Kerass. Activate his effect, banish 4. We're going to go into Shurag again. And then make sure we don't banish our own board. And Shurag's not going to be around for long. Link him off for Zelantis. But that will trigger Shurag's grave effect. And since we already have the Rescue Cat in hand, we don't want to search Rescue Cat. We instead want to search out a Torix because that'll allow us to extend further. And now we will normal summon that Rescue Cat that was already in our hand. So activate Rescue Cat. And you're going to want to special summon Kitt and Samnite again. And the combo is pretty much the same as before, there's just a couple of differences. So we'll activate Zelantis, banish the board. Special summon them all back, same as before. Activate Kitt's effect, banish 2. And go into Dragases again. Link Samnite and one of them off for Test Panther. Panther's on summon effect will trigger. We already had that comeback in hand, but just ignore that. Imagine we didn't, so then you'll add comeback to hand. We didn't have to search a high-level Gladiator monster because we already have that Torix in hand. So then you'll activate Test Panther's effect, and you'll once again special summon Augustus. That'll trigger Augustus's on summon effect, and then you'll summon a Torix. And then that'll trigger a Torix's on summon effect, and then you just need to send some high-level Glad. I usually just end up doing Noxious. And then you will contact fuse those 2 off for Tamer Editor. You don't want to go Cross Sheep yet. You'll see why in a moment. Activate Tamer Editor. Go into Domitianus. And at this point, we want to get Tamer Editor in the grave. So we are going to go into Cross Sheep here. And now we will use Comeback to bring back that Tamer Editor. And make sure it's in the Cross Sheep zone. That'll activate Cross Sheep's effect. And we can bring back whoever, doesn't really matter. And then we will link off the monster we just summoned, along with Test Panther and Cross Sheep, in order to go into a 3-mat Apollo USA. And then you can use Tamer Editor's effect again, and we'll grab Heraklinos. So now we have 2 spell and trap negates for Heraklinos. We have the monster effect negate from Domitianus, and then we have 2 pops with Zelantis, as well as the effect negation from Apollo. So pretty solid end board. So this is a pretty similar combo to the last one, so I'm going to go ahead and speed it up. This is when you open Fraktall, a Tri-type monster, and then come back in hand. But once again, it'll activate Fraktall, you'll send Kitt, you'll send Nerval, Nerval search Kerass, Kerass ditch a Tri-type monster, special summon Kerass, Kerass banish 4, get Shurag, link Shurag off for Zelantis, activate Shurag, and this time you search out Rescue Cat, because we don't have Rescue Cat in hand. Normal summon Rescue Cat, ban it, send Rescue Cat to grave, and then you'll get Kitt and Samnite. Activates Zelantis, banish the board, special summon them all back. And now I'll show you where it changes up here. So I'll go ahead and slow it back down to normal speed in just a second. We'll go ahead and activate Kitt, banish 2 once again. You want to get the Glad links as someone Test Panther can spin back. And then you'll link off Samnite and Kerass to go into Test Panther. Activate Test Panther's effect to search. And since we have the comeback in hand, we need to add some sort of high-level Glad to hand. We want to add Noxious. Go ahead and ignore that Atorix in hand. And then we'll go ahead and activate Test Panther. We are going to spin back Dragases, get Augustus, activate Augustus, special summon that Noxious we searched. Noxious effect will activate, send Bestiary to grave. And contact Fuse for Tamer Editor, activate Editor's effect, and you want to go Domitianus, not Heraklinos here, because Heraklinos and Tamer Editor share a monster typing, so you can't use Comeback afterwards to get back Tamer Editor. And then you will link off Kitt and Tamer Editor to go into Cross Sheep, and now you activate that Comeback that was in your opening hand. Bring back Tamer Editor, make sure it's in the Cross Sheep zone. That'll trigger Cross Sheep. Go ahead and get Bestiary. From this point, this one you could differ it up a bit. If you like Simurgh better, you could go Simurgh instead of Apollo. But you'll still be using Test Panther because you need to have the zones free. So typically I'd just go Apollo USA anyway. And then you'll link, so like I said, link those 3 off for Apollo USA, and then you'll activate Tamer Editor's effect. At this point you get Heraklinos, and we've got the same board as we had before. Spell and trap negates, monster effect negates, Zelantis pops, you know, the usual. So Rescue Cat can be a combo starter for us, but it does require one other Tri-type monster in hand, so this combo requires Rescue Cat, one other Tri-type monster. You start off by normal summoning that Rescue Cat, activate the effect, get out Kitt and Samnite. You will link these 2 off for Test Panther. They'll trigger Test Panther and Kitt's effect. Activate them both. Use Kitt to send Nerval. And then use Test Panther to search out Noxious. Nerval's effect will trigger, and we'll add Kerass to hand. Activate Kerass, ditch whatever that Tri-type monster in your hand was. In this case it was a Atorix. Special summon Kerass, activate his effect, and we're going to banish 2. Just banish whatever the 2 worst in the grave are that you think they are. And then we are going to get out the Gladiator Beast Link 2 Monster Dragases, which will allow us to activate Test Panther's effect, spin him back to deck, special summon a different Glad from deck. We will get Augustus, that will trigger Augustus's on summon effect, which will allow us to special summon Noxious, which will trigger Noxious's on summon effect. And the Noxious effect will activate, and we're going to once again send Bestiary to grave. From here, we want to go into Cross Sheep with Kerass and Test Panther. And now we want to fuse into Tamer Editor. That'll trigger Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep bring back Bestiary. Activate Tamer Editor. Get out Dom. And then link Cross Sheep and Bestiary in order to go into Simurgh. From there, you're free to go to your end phase, and then Simurgh can activate his effect, and will special summon Apex Avian from either deck or hand. He can't special summon from both, which is nice. Alright, last combo I have for you, just because I want to show it off. This is the going second combo. All you need is 2 Tri-type monsters in grave, and then the ability to get another Tri-Brigade monster on a board that can banish 2 to special summon the Link 2 Gladiator Beast monster. So in this case, we just had Fraktall, ditch 2. There's a number of ways you can get it set up. Can't go over them all, but if you have any familiarity with the deck, you'll figure it out pretty quick. So you just need to be able to banish 2, get out Dragases. From here, you'll go into the battle phase, attack with Dragases, crash him into whoever. He cannot be destroyed by battle, and your opponent can activate cards when he attacks. Go to main phase 2, activate Dragases' effect, spin him back to deck. From here, you will special summon Noxious and Augustus. Noxious' effect will trigger on summon. And from here, you want to send Bestiary. And now we have 2 Glad Beasts on board that have 5 stars or more. So you will context use them off for Tamer Editor. Activate Tamer Editor's effect. And you want to get out Damatianus, because we need to make sure that we don't have a Beast Warrior type monster on board for the next follow-up play. So then you will link these 2 off to go into Test Panther. Test Panther's on summon effect will trigger. From here you want to grab Comeback. Just ignore that Comeback in hand. Imagine we didn't have it, so you'll search Comeback, activate Comeback, and from here you want to bring back Tamer Editor. Now we can activate Tamer Editor's effect again. From here you want to get Geyserist to pop 2 cards. You don't have to pop 2 cards, you just need to get another body on board, but you do want to get Geyserist to pop a card. And then you will activate Test Panther to spin Geyserist. And from here you want to get a quest. And a quest can add back that Comeback that we added to grave. And since Test Panther has now used its effect, we can link him off to go into Cross Sheep with that effect, with Tamer Editor, because we want to get Tamer Editor back into the grave. Activate Comeback. Bring back Tamer Editor. Cross Sheep's effect will trigger. Bring back Bestiary. And from here you can go into Geyserist again to pop 2 more cards. Or you can just go Tamer Editor, activate his effect. Special summon Fraktall. And then you will link these all off for Apollo USA. If you had instead contacted off a quest and Bestiary for Geyserist again, you could have then used Geyserist and Cross Sheep to go into Simurgh. Really your choice there. So really a crazy end board, and that was just off a singular link to summon off of a Tri-Brigade monster's effect. That was the last combo I had to show off for you. If you think I missed something, or you think there's some better line or play I could be making, please let me know. You know I'm always looking to improve. But other than that, I've got some duels to showcase the deck in action, so sit back and enjoy. Alright, first duel up, we won the Twin Flip, and we've got a crazy looking hand. So we'll go and activate Fraktall, send Kitt, send Nerval, activate Nerval, search out Kerass, activate Kerass, ditch the Samnite, activate Kerass, banish 4, not facing any eruption for my opponent. He is going to Havness here, and he probably Havness at the absolute worst moment, because Shurag is going to get to banish now. He's going to fuse off here to go into Mud Dragon and Swamp. We're going to get that Mud Dragon and Swamp out of here with Shurag's effect. Activate Shurag, or sorry, link off Shurag, go into Zalance. Shurag effect will trigger. We have Rescue Cat, so we'll get a Torix. We'll normal summon that Rescue Cat. We'll get Kitt, Samnite, banish the board. Goes Atlantis, brings monster back, doesn't really matter what zone, sure, we'll put him in attack mode. No real reason to put him face down. And now we're free to activate Kitt's effect, banish 2, get out Dragases, link these 2 off for Test Panther. Panther, get out the Comeback, we are just popping off. Spin him back, get Augustus, a Torix dump, get Tamer Editor, get Dom. Link these 2 off for Cross Sheep, activate that Comeback. Cross Sheep triggers, get Samnite, link for a 3-mat Apollo. Activate Tamer Editor, get Heraclinos, and pretty insane board. Let's see what Tier can do against it. It's going to start off with a Super Poly, and it looks like it's Tier branded. You know, they always have the Super Poly. He's going to get rid of Heraclinos, a little unfortunate for us. He's going to try to activate Havness, we'll negate that Tier. He is going to activate Fusion Deployment, get Albaz. He's going to discard, we'll go ahead and Polydarity, tries to Predaplant that. We do have the Dom to negate that as well. And then he's going to try to Despian Tragedy. We're going to use our third negate on Apollo, so just super high value Apollo. Unbreakable board for our opponent. GG, we just got set up, and we won the game. That's pretty much how it goes with this deck. Oh no, we lost the coin flip. Oh no, our opponent's deck is a Wombo combo deck. So I'm going to go ahead and speed it up here. Yeah, I'd have no interruption. I'd have no way to interact. It's crazy how my deck building is coming to bite me in the ass here. So he's going to set up a pretty impressive board. He's going to have lots of tax dragons. He's going to have the towers. He's going to have hot red. Let's see if we can crack it. I don't have any board breakers in hand, and Augustus off the top's not going to do it. I'll go ahead and fire Pot of P. Maybe we find something here. And the droplet. Yep, that's what we needed. So we'll go ahead and droplet. Activate drop it. And we can discard Kitt, which will trigger that. Oh, and he has a response, which is then going to free him up to activate hot red, negate my droplet, and I guess I lose on the spot there. So I guess if we win the coin flip and we get set up, we win. And likewise, if we lose the coin flip, get set up on, we lose. That's just kind of how this deck goes. My opponent definitely played well, though, so GG, friend. Nicely played. We lost the coin flip again. We do have a board breaker in hand, and looks like we can possibly combo with this hand. Let's see what we can do. And looks like he's on Therion Sky Striker. That's always an interesting deck. He's also got an adventure package in there. But it looks like all three of these together kind of bricked him up. He is going to search out that right after setting and then set a card and pass back to me. Unfortunately for him, we've got the Lightning Storm. We'll go ahead and activate Lightning Storm here. Clear his back row. We'll summon that Kitt. Blink off Kitt for Almirage. We'll activate Kitt. He's got the Ash for that. We also have the called by, Lightning Storm, called by, full combo, just the classic. From there, we would have sent Nerval. We would have been able to search out Kerass, special summon Kerass, going to Dragases, full combo from there. Would have been a pretty easy win, most likely. So that's just kind of how, once again, how this deck can go. We're going first. We've got the Tenki. Go ahead and start off the turn with that, see what my opponent's got in interaction. Nothing, so we'll get the Fraktall, and I get the full combo Premier, so I'll just save you some time and go ahead and speed this up, go through it all. Kerass, Zelantis, Rescue Cat active effect, Zelantis, banished all, Kitt, banish 2, get it, and then link off for Test Panther, Augustus, Noxious, Cross Sheep, after Team Raider gets out Dom, link is off for Apollo, Dom got out for Raklinos. Pretty impressive end board, let's see what my opponent can do with 6 cards in hand. He activates Runick Tip, we let that through, he grabs a Flashing Fire. He activates Flashing Fire, targets Apollo, we'll negate that with Heraklinos. He's going to try to Freezing Curse Heraklinos. Heraklinos is not once per chain, so we will negate that. So we no longer have Heraklinos negates. He's going to activate another Freezing Curse, target that Apollo. Unfortunate for us, normal summons a Hop Ear Squadron, and I guess he had nothing further from there. Passes back to us, should be extremely easy cleanup for here. Activate Tamer Editor, sure, grab Gazaris, pop his monster, go straight to the battle phase, swing in. Swing in, swing in. So once again, got to set up, easy win. Well played, friend. Thanks for trying to play it out. Right, next duel I have, we've got Tenki, we've got Nerval, so that is Fraktall and a Tri-type full combo. So we'll search out Fraktall, activate the effect. We'll send Kitt, and then DD Crow response, banish the Fraktall. That actually messes up our line pretty bad because we really need the 4 to be in the grave. So I will normal summon Nerval. My goal was to then summon Farajit and then try to make some sort of play happen from there, but he activated Maxi on the Nerval summon, so I'll go ahead and pass there. He's going to set 2, activate Duster, clear my back row, which, I mean, that's fine with me. If you're not going to summon anything, I don't really care about Droplet. Go back to me. We'll link off this Nerval to go into Almirage. That is going to trigger Nerval's effect. We will get Kitt, special summon Kerass. Kitt's effect triggers, and now we have 4 engraved. He's going to imperm the Kerass. Unfortunate for us, we can normal summon a quest. From there, we can link those 2 off for Test Panther, activate Test Panther, get Noxious. Then from here, we can come back, bring back a quest, use Test Panther, spin back a quest, get out Augustus, special summon that Noxious, activate Noxious, send Bestiari. Context uses off Tamer Editor, get out Gazaris, pop his last back row, it's a mass change. From here we'll go ahead and go into the battle phase, Gazaris to attack. After that we can send Gazaris back, special summon 2 from deck, get a quest, get Augustus, a quest in order to bring back that comeback. Link those 2 off for Cross Sheep, activate comeback, bring back Tamer Editor. Cross Sheep will trigger, get Bestiari. Link those 2 off for Simurgh, activate Tamer Editor, get Dom, and then link these 3 off for a 3-mat Apollo USA. So pretty impressive end board off just Nerval in hand. And then at the end phase, we get Apex Avion against my opponent's 2 cards. I've got like 5 negates, he Monster Reborns. Sure, you can have my Augustus, I actually don't care about that at all. He tries to swing in, Dom has other techs on him, we just let him crash, he scoops out from there, GG. Alright, last duel I have for you, lost the coin flip. Got a DM mate, DM picture, activates illusion of chaos, gets some magician souls. Dark magic circle. I swear, I don't go out just, you know, looking for the dark magician players. They just come to me. He's got the circle, he's got the eternal soul, he's got branded fusion, so it's branded dark magician. He's going to go Lubellion, activate Lubellion in order to go into dark magician, the dragon knight, and then he also has the set eternal soul with circle. So this is the FTK with dark magician. This actually is kind of a crazy end board. Let's see what we can do against it. Go ahead and fire Pot of P just to start off. We only banished 3. Let's just see what we find. Kerass, yeah, we'll do Kerass, that's fine. From here we'll activate Fraktall, and then he's going to Soul Drain. That really screws us because that means that Kitt can no longer activate the effect. From here we'll go ahead and activate DD Crow. That means he can't Eternal Soul back that Dark Magician. He's going to Max C as we try to special summon that Kerass. DD Crow is very nice because you might notice we now have 4 Tri-types engraved. We're going to banish 4, and Shirak does not target, he does not destroy, so that means we can get rid of that Eternal Soul even with the Dragon Knight on the board. And even though he has that Floodgate, we are going to swing in. He is on no cards. This top deck's really going to have to save him. He's just going to set 1 pass back to us. See what we find off the top. Tenki's great. Activate Tenki. We're going to get Fraktall. And from there, he scoops it up. GG. You know, I probably wouldn't hate DM as much if it wasn't just like they just ended up going Floodgate Turbo. But that was the last duel I had for you. After that, I've just got some final thoughts just to go over the deck. Don't really have any other cards for you to consider this time. This deck's just kind of Cheese City. If you want me to go over some other cards you might like, let me know. I can go over them in the comments. But otherwise, here are my final thoughts. It is kind of sad that the Gladiator Beasts are just comboing and board building now, and their unique gimmick of tagging out after battle to use some sort of popping effect or searching effect, whatever, is just completely unplayable. But I am happy to see the Glad Beasts actually compete in a competent deck. For strength, the deck generally has easy access to extremely powerful monsters. The Gladiator Beast fusions still hold up as powerful boss monsters, and if your opponent doesn't open some dedicated board breakers, they are not going to crack through them. Also, this deck can generate an insane amount of advantage between like just the Tri-Brigades cheating out Link monsters, and then also Tamer Editor cheating out fusion monsters. It is also nice for a combo deck. If we lose the coin flip, it's not an auto lose. We have an extremely strong line of play open to us with Dragases. If you get to set up with this deck, you have a very good chance of just straight up winning the game on the spot. But that basically takes us right into the weaknesses portion. For weaknesses, we mostly lose to every interruption under the sun. Now, you could possibly have a follow-up play on your next turn, but you're going to have to survive till then, and good luck with that when we're really not running any hand traps to help get us there. Also, our combo lines use up an incredible amount of our extra deck resources. If our opponent is on like Sphere Mode, Dark Rule No More, or other similar board breaker, if we get cracked, there's a good shot we're not going to have the tools to keep us in the game, especially because like the monsters summoned by Tamer Editor are not summoned properly, so you can't even reborn them with like comeback. But losing an interruption and having your board get broken by board breakers is just a problem every combo deck has trouble with. For other weaknesses, I mean, I should probably also mention it's probably pretty obvious there's no shot this deck is even remotely meta. It probably barely even scratches the surface as a rogue deck, especially now when we're still in tier format. And really, any other competent meta deck will have the interruption or board breakers to deal with this deck. But like I said before, if you get to set up, you have a very good chance of just straight up winning, even against even the strongest decks out there. But also, like I said before, the Gladiator Beast portion of the deck is just bricky as hell. You'd be prepared to open some of the worst hands you've ever seen in your life if you don't find like one of your starters. In terms of fun, I want to say it's a fun deck, but I really might be looking at that with some pretty heavily tinted rose-colored glasses. Don't get me wrong, there are fun aspects of this deck. I love the Tri-Brigade archetype, I love the Gladiator Beast archetype, I love getting to mash them together, and I absolutely love getting to run Rescue Cat. Also, comboing off and building an unbreakable board is pretty cool, especially when it's with some very off-meta monsters. And of course, the obvious, it's always fun to roll up with your pet deck and actually be playable. However, our lines of play are generally extremely linear, and as a combo deck, we might as well just be FTKing our opponent, as our goal with this deck is just to make a completely unbreakable board, and hopefully not lose on the spot to an Ash Imperm or Max C. I do enjoy combo decks from time to time, but they can get old kind of quick. And I mean, that's like the general case. There are some games where you do get interrupted or some of your board gets broken, and then there is some room to make interesting plays when you're actually like really familiar with like all of the card effects, and then something like the Bestiari popping a back row actually matters. So there is some fun to be had with some of these cards, but generally we're just trying to do our combo line. In terms of price, don't buy this deck unless you absolutely know you want to play it. I mean, honestly, the main deck isn't too expensive other than picking up the playset of Rescue Cats, but the really expensive part is the extra deck. Most of the extra deck cards are good in only this deck exactly, so you won't get too much mileage out of it. Although this deck is spicy, it's definitely just that, all spice, not too much substance. You may get the occasional chance to combo off and steal some wins, but generally you're not cracking the meta with it anytime soon. If you do like Tri-Brigade though, this is a really cool spin on that deck, as typically Tri-Brigade isn't setting up a bunch of negates. So the Gladiator Beast portion really raises the ceiling on that deck. If you like Gladiator Beast, you'll probably be happy to have a cool deck to roll up with them with. But that was Tri-Brigade Gladiator Beast. I am a resident rogue deck enjoyer, so you know I love busting out the spice for you all. But I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you have any thoughts or questions, feel free to post them below. If you enjoyed the video or found any portion of it helpful, I greatly appreciate any likes or feedback. If you'd like to see more deck profiles and combo guides, be sure to check out my other videos and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be sure to keep putting out jank decks for you all. With that, I will see you next time, friends.